Let's read from a text file in Python. Python has a built-in open function that accepts a file name and it gives us back a file object. Technically, we get back an _io.textio wrapper object, but we don't talk about it that way. We refer to this thing as a file object. File objects have a read method. When we call it, we'll get back a string representing the entire contents of that file. Once we're done working with a file, we should make sure it's closed to let the operating system know that we're done with it. After you've closed a file, you can't do anything else with that file object. Now, we can rely on Python closing files automatically when our Python process exits, and sometimes at other times, but we usually shouldn't rely on that unless we want our file open for the entirety of our Python process. So we could close files manually using the close method on file objects, but we probably shouldn't do that either, because if we open a file, process it, and then close it, if an exception occurs while we're processing the file, our file object may not end up closed. So our file object here is still open because this close method was never called. The line of code before it raised an exception, so we never actually executed this line of code. Now, we can fix this problem by using a with block. This will automatically close our file for us. A with block works with a context manager, and files are context managers. When a with block is entered, it will tell the context manager object that the with block has been entered, and it can execute some special code. When the with block is exited, meaning the indentation level changes, it will inform the context manager object and it can execute some exit code. File objects choose to make their exit code close themselves automatically. So you can use a with block to make sure that your file always closes when the with block exits. So if we execute this code here, even though an exception occurred, our file will end up closed because our with block was exited. To work with a text file in Python, you can use the built-in open function, which gives you back a file object. File objects have a read method, which will give you back the entire contents of that file as a string. You should always make sure that your files are closed when you're done working with them. Now, for a very simple command line program, you could just rely on Python to close the file automatically when your Python program exits, but it's considered a best practice to use a with block to make sure that your file is closed automatically when you're done with it.